Hello students, welcome to another neat session. Through this video, we will dive into some key concepts of equilibrium. In this session, you'll learn to apply equilibrium constants to predict how far a reaction will proceed. Use Q and K to determine the direction of a reaction. Understand Gibbs free energy and Le Chatelier's principle. And understand how catalysts and inert gases influence chemical systems. Let's begin. Let's start with the applications of equilibrium constants. It is crucial to note that equilibrium constants are only valid at equilibrium, where concentrations remain constant. Before we dive into the applications, here are a few key features of equilibrium constants. They are independent of starting amounts. K stays the same no matter the initial mix of reactants or products. They are temperature sensitive. Every reaction has a unique value of K at a specific temperature. For reversible reactions, the equilibrium constant of the reverse is the reciprocal of the forward reaction's constant. That is, K reverse equals 1 divided by K forward. If the balanced chemical equation is scaled, the value of K also changes systematically. Using equilibrium constants, you can predict how far a reaction will proceed, determine which direction a reaction will shift, and calculate equilibrium concentrations. Predicting the extent of a reaction. The magnitude of Kc tells us how far a reaction goes. If Kc is greater than 10 to the power 3, the reaction goes nearly to completion, that is, the products dominate. If Kc is less than 10 to the power minus 3, the reaction hardly proceeds, that is, the reactants dominate. If Kc lies between 10 to the power minus 3 and 10 to the power 3, both reactants and products are present in appreciable amounts. Let's now introduce the concept of the reaction quotient, denoted Q or Qc. The reaction quotient is calculated using the same expression as the equilibrium constant, but with initial or non-equilibrium concentrations. Q helps us compare the current state of a reaction with its equilibrium state. It is defined as Q equals concentration of products raised to their stoichiometric coefficients divided by concentration of reactants raised to their stoichiometric coefficients. By comparing Qc to Kc, we can determine whether the reaction needs to shift forward or backward to reach equilibrium. Predicting the direction of a reaction. If Qc is less than Kc, the reaction proceeds forward, toward products. If Qc is greater than Kc, the reaction proceeds backward, toward reactants. If Qc equals Kc, the system is already at equilibrium, no net change occurs. Let's learn how to calculate equilibrium concentrations with the help of an example. Pause the video and read the following statement carefully. Now let's proceed. Firstly, write the balanced chemical equation. Then, create a concentration table showing initial concentrations, changes in concentrations, final equilibrium concentrations. Then, use a variable like X to represent the change and apply stoichiometry to relate other substances. Substitute the equilibrium values into the Kc expression. Solve the equation to find X. Calculate final concentrations using the value of X. Let's study the relationship between K, Q, and Gibbs free energy, delta G. Equilibrium constants do not indicate reaction speed, but are closely related to Gibbs free energy change. If delta G is less than 0, the reaction is spontaneous, it proceeds forward, and K is greater than 1. If delta G is greater than 0, the reaction is non-spontaneous, it proceeds backward, and K is less than 1. If delta G equals 0, the system is at equilibrium, no net change occurs. Delta G equals delta G naught plus RT log Q. At equilibrium, delta G equals 0 and the equation becomes delta G naught equals negative RT log K, which means K equals exponential of negative delta G naught divided by RT. This shows how delta G and K are mathematically connected. From this, you can predict spontaneity and the extent of a reaction. Let's test this with an example. We are given the hydrolysis of sucrose. Sucrose plus water gives glucose and fructose. The equilibrium constant is equal to 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 13 at a temperature of 300 Kelvin. We are asked to calculate the standard Gibbs free energy change at 300 Kelvin. We use the formula delta G naught equals negative RT multiplied by the natural logarithm of Kc. Substituting the values, delta G naught equals negative 8.314 joules per mole per Kelvin multiplied by 300 Kelvin multiplied by the natural logarithm of 2 times 10 to the power 13. Now we evaluate the logarithm. The natural logarithm of 2 times 10 to the power 13 is equal to the natural logarithm of 2 plus 13 times the natural logarithm of 10. That gives us 0.693 plus 13 multiplied by 2.303, which equals 0.693 plus 29.939. And that equals approximately 30.632. Now we compute. Delta G naught equals negative 8.314 multiplied by 300 multiplied by 30.632. This gives delta G naught is approximately negative 76,352.6 joules per mole. We can round this to approximately negative 7.64 times 10 to the power 4 joules per mole or negative 76.4 kilojoules per mole. Factors affecting equilibrium. According to Le Chatelier's principle, when a system at equilibrium is disturbed, it shifts to oppose the change. Effect of concentration change. Adding reactants shifts equilibrium towards products. Adding products shifts it towards reactants. Removing a substance pulls the system toward the side that replenishes it. For example, in the reaction, hydrogen gas plus iodine gas in equilibrium with hydrogen iodide gas. Adding more hydrogen gas shifts the equilibrium to the right. Effect of pressure change. This only applies to gaseous reactions. Increasing pressure favors the side with fewer moles of gas. Decreasing pressure favors the side with more moles of gas. For example, carbon monoxide plus 3 hydrogen gas in equilibrium with methane and water vapor. There are 4 moles on the left and 2 on the right. So, increasing pressure shifts equilibrium to the right. Effect of temperature change. Increasing temperature favors the endothermic direction, which absorbs heat. Decreasing temperature favors the exothermic direction, which releases heat. Example: nitrogen gas plus 3 hydrogen gas in equilibrium with 2 ammonia gas plus heat. Raising temperature shifts equilibrium left toward reactants. Lowering temperature favors ammonia formation. Effect of inert gas addition. At constant volume, adding inert gas does not affect equilibrium, partial pressures and concentrations stay the same. At constant pressure, adding inert gas increases total volume, which shifts equilibrium toward the side with more moles of gas. This is because adding volume dilutes all gases. Effect of a catalyst. A catalyst speeds up both forward and reverse reactions by lowering the activation energy. It does not change the equilibrium position and does not appear in the equilibrium constant expression. But if K is extremely small, a catalyst won't help much. It can only speed up the rate, not change the position of equilibrium. For example, In ammonia synthesis, iron catalyst enables fast reaction at 500 degrees Celsius and 200 atmosphere pressure. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for NEET. Thank you.